You guys want to see a dry cut?
Yes.
Dry?
Yes.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, what's the reason for doing a dry cut as opposed to a wet cut? Who thinks they can tell me?
The way it looks.
Where it falls.
The way it falls saves time. What else?
It looks.
You mean the visual of it?
The visual.
The fact that you're cutting it and seeing how it's falling simultaneous, right?
Yes.
Carlos, that was a good answer. All good answers. But that is the best answer because what you get out of doing dry cuts is you get the visual of when you're cutting it, you're seeing exactly how it's falling, right? Whereas when you're cutting wet, you know you got to blow dry and you're not really watching exactly what it's going to look like, correct? So the last thing that you want to do when somebody comes in for a dry cut is you don't just start cutting their hair dry. What we do in the salon, and we're going to do a little different here, but what we do in the salon is we shampoo them, condition them. Then we blow their hair dry and flat iron it first. Then we cut it. Okay? Because it will give you a better cut if you do that. With her, I'm not going to do all the cleansing because her hair looks fairly clean. I'm going to do a little bit of flat iron it to close the cuticle down first. Do you guys know what a cuticle is?
Yes.
What's a cuticle? The outer layer of the hair, correct. Is that an important thing?
Yes.
It's extremely important, isn't it? Why? Because it's the outer layer, but what do you get from the outer layer? The what? The shine, exactly. Does all hair that's damaged not have a shine?
No.
Because why?
Because there's still a cuticle.
And you can close the cuticle with heat, correct? So you can take somebody that has damaged hair and make their hair look healthy, right?
Is that your hair straightener?
This is my hair straightener,
No,
yes.
I mean, like, did you make it us?
It's my brand, yeah.
Pure heat?
Pure heat. You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like green.
Do you? Well, this is my brand. I have a blow dryer as well that goes with it. They're called Pure Heat. Why these are different is because they're obviously made to certain standards that make them good. One of the things that you're going to look for in an iron when you guys go get your iron is you want to have what's called floating plates. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
They move. The plate moves. Okay? It moves like a shock absorber. Choo, 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 choo. And the reason you want floating plates is because you have less breakage and damage that way. Imagine that if I forcing it over the edge of this counter as hard as I could with something, what would eventually happen to your hair? It would break, right.
It's like shocks on a car.
Like shocks on a car, but so when it comes across the lip, it gives so you don't get the breakage. So that's one of the things that you're going to look for when you buy your really good iron, okay, is moving plates. You also want to have digital. You want to have easy heat up, in other words, instant heat. You don't want to sit there and wait for it to heat. You want it to bam. You know, this goes to 400 like immediately. There's three things that close cuticles. Who can tell me what they are, Carlos?
Heat.
Higher. 7.
7 or higher, correct? What pH closes the hair down to its perfect balance? 4.5. So, the way that you get closed cuticles is with heat, friction, and pH. That's why your good products are always 4.5 or somewhere in that range, because anything that's above 7 is too alkaline. It opens the cuticle and you won't get the shine. So basically though, that's why, have you ever noticed that no matter what you put on anybody's hair at the shampoo bowl, whenever they come back and you're combing their hair out, it's tangled? Mm-hmm. Who can tell me why? Because water is what?
Opens the cuticle.
And because water is what pH? 7. And 7 is too high, right? 7 is too high. 4.5 closes the hair. That's why whenever I cut, I'll show you, whenever I cut, I always use a prep. It's called a primer, and it's 4.5 to close the cuticle down. Here.
And that's your own primer you made too?
Uh-huh.
Do you know what Kangen water is?
Uh-huh.
Nothing.
Do you drink it? I do. I do.
I
Kangen water is 9.5. Well, it's higher. It's high in alkalinity. Kangen.
Beauty water. What's the beauty water? The TH on there, beauty water, like they say use it for?
Well, their beauty water.
Yeah.
Well, it can be.
4.5, right?
Yeah.
You spray it on your face. And
Yeah. So what she's saying over there is, on the outside of your body, you want 4.5, your skin and your hair. On the inside of your body, you want about 7.5 or higher. Because the inside of your body needs to be alkaline, the outside of your body needs to be acidic. This is Tara. We're doing long layer. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 techniques that I'm using. I'm now going to draw a picture of Tara. She's very beautiful. And you can see Tara's part is on this side. See it? On her left. When you guys do the long to short haircut, long layers, you cut an angle on the face. Is that correct? Is heavy? Now, you go from short to long. That's the angle. Okay? The angle that you cut, you always want to mirror the angle that you're cutting and the part. They mirror. You follow me? So if the angle I'm cutting is this angle, right? Then my partings are this. You follow me? They mirror it. Okay? Now, most hairdressers would cut this haircut like this. They'd stake it down and then they cut it across the face. You following me? Okay? That's not good. Okay? And the reason that they do this is because this is the way they're taught until they encounter somebody like me. I'm going to teach you how to do it a totally different way. That's going to make it 10 times more voluminous, softer, edgier, more modern, and longer. Okay? And that's with this technique right here called over direction. Over direction. So let's talk about what is over direction. Over direction is when you take hair, watch me guys, down the way that gravity wants to take it, that's called on the base. On the base, when you take hair on the base and cut it, what do you get?
0 degrees. No,
You 0 degrees, but you get heavy or light?
Heavy.
You get heavy, exactly. Do we want her hair to be heavy?
No.
We want her hair to be light, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, so that means we're not going to take it onto the base to cut it. We're going to take it away from the base. It's called over directing. Now watch. This is on base, but look at me. That, just this much over to the side, that's over directed. You follow me? Anything that's not straight on its base, a little bit or a lot, is called over directed. Okay, so that's the meaning of over direction, when it's not on the base. So, the farther that I make this hair travel away from the base, the farther that I make it travel away from the base to be cut, the more soft movement, okay, layer, and length I'm going to maintain in the hair. And that's what I want in her hair. I want all these things. So watch. I'm not going to cut it here. I'm going to cut her hair way over here. I'm going to make her hair travel way. I'm going to cut on that angle. But instead of the angle being here, I'm going to take it way out here. Because the rule is, the farther that you make hair travel to your guide, away from the base, the more softness, layer, movement, and length you create. Let me write that down. Why don't you guys write that down? In your hair cutting. The farther that you take hair away from its base to be cut, okay, the farther you make hair travel away from its base to be cut, the more softness, movement, layer, and length you maintain in the hair. Use this called over direction. It's over direction means we're making it travel away from its base to be cut. Look at me. The farther I over direct this to be cut, the more sweep it has when it comes back. Does that make sense to you guys? So if I go a little bit, it will have a little sweep. If I go a lot, it will have a really lot of sweep. You follow me? So if you like sweeping bangs, that side sweep bang, boom, make it travel, okay? Number two is once it travels, I've got to cut it. I'm not going to cut it like this, like traditional. I'm going to cut it like this. It's not point cutting. It's not point cutting. It's this technique. It's called aeration.
Air what?
Aeration. The key word is air. We're making it real airy. We're putting a lot of air in it. We're putting a lot of movement in it. And the way you do that is by taking your scissors and making the hair come into the and making the scissors come into the hair parallel to the way the hair is. Watch. Parallel. This allows you to come in deep. So what I'm going to do is when I cut hair like that, the ends aren't going to be blunt, they're going to look like this. They're going to be all different lengths. You follow me, guys? It's not point cutting, because here's what it is, guys. When you point cut with a small scissor,
You snip the tips.
exactly, what you're doing is, when you're point cutting, you have to turn the scissor on an angle, don't you? And when you turn the scissor on an angle to make it cut, then you get a texture that's more kind of like that, right? Like V's, okay? You can see the chunks. But what you're looking for in aeration is you're looking to go deep into the hair so that you can see no line of demarcation. You can't see the marks. So you get what's virtually is invisible layers. The hair's layered, but you can't see any layer, okay? That's why I invented and use these. They're long curved scissors. Do you follow me? Okay? Why? Because as you guys get more and more advanced in hair cutting, you're going to want to buy a longer and longer and longer scissor. Why? Because longer scissors are more efficient. They're more powerful. They're faster. You can do different things with long scissors that you could never do with a short scissor. Okay? And if you're going to buy a long scissor, because you eventually are going to buy a longer scissor, I promise you, you're going to want one, buy one with a curve on it, because the curve will open up a lot of other things that you don't get with a straight. Let me show you why. If I want to cut around an eye, if I want to cut around an ear, if I want to scoop round, if I want to scoop out, if I want the layer to come in like this, or like this.
You use this a lot.
I use them all the time. If you want to layer somebody's hair with their head shape, look. See the scissor? See how it's bent with the head?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys know what a fade is? Fades are real tight at the bottom. When you want to fade, you go from that to this, anti, because doesn't the neck cave in here? So you come in tight with it and fade out, and then when the head starts to turn, you turn it. The best thing it does, though, of all those techniques I just mentioned, is this technique called aeration. Because look, you have to turn the scissor so that it cuts. With the long scissor that's curved, you don't turn it. It turns itself. Follow me? So up in deep, you don't turn it, it turns. So what you end up with is all these really soft, beautiful, deep textured lines that creates the number one word that you're looking for in this. Here's the number one word, besides being sexy and soft and gorgeous. Modern. It's very modern texture. This is the texture that girls will give you a lot of money for, okay? If they go to this guy over here and he cuts it traditional, like everybody else, without over-directing it and just cutting it blunt, or if he comes to you and you're over-directing it and cutting aeration, she's going back to you every time. I promise you. I promise it. Because her hair will be so much softer, so much sexier, so much more modern. All right? When hair is cut, even though we're cutting this way, we're cutting it on an angle. Soon as hair starts to curve, do you see how this angle curves here? See how long her hair is? If I cut a straight line like this and I keep cutting straight line, what's going to happen to the ends of her hair? They're going to get cut. and then she's going to be pissed because I told her I'm not cutting her length, right? So at one point, I need to start curving this line, don't I? Curving it so that, look, here's the straight line. Follow me. If I keep cutting with a straight line, all of this hair down here is getting cut off.
Right.
She doesn't want that. So at this point, I need to start curving this line. You follow? Okay, and the way you do that is with this technique. It's called slide cutting. It's how you cut curves in the hair. Because slide cutting will give you all these great blends, okay? And also, think about this, you guys. The head is curved, isn't it? So the lines on the head should be curved. All right? You don't want to cut hair like a box. Curves. You got to learn how to cut curves. You do it with this technique right here called slide cutting. Now, have you ever seen somebody's hair so when they move their head, like all of a sudden you see all the texture and that movement in the haircut? Right? Okay, you know how you get that? With this technique right here called channel. Like if somebody says, we're going to channel you through, what are they really saying? We're going to take you, we're going to move you through, right? We're going to channel you through. You guys follow me? So channel, in this sense, channel means movement. But what we're going to do is we're literally going to cut a real channel in her hair. Because the channel, a channel creates movement. From short to long. It always moves from short to long. Short to long. Short to long. Hair will always move short to long. So what we do is we take the scissor and we cut through it short to long in channels like this. Look. Right through it like this, and we put in all that movement inside the hair. So you don't just have the ends, you have the inside movement of the hair. It's called channels or channel cutting, yes. I got a close cuticle here. We're going to take a parting. Bam, there's my part. Watch. See the face? Okay, this is the biggest. This is huge. The head straight up. When I want to take the, I want the hair, see where I want to take the hair? Over there, right? Okay, with the head straight up, straight, where does the hair want to go? Back here. What's making it come back here?
Gravity.
Gravity. Gravity you can't fight, can you? No. So you have to use gravity in hair cutting. So watch. Instead of having the head straight up, I turn the head. Okay? I turn the head, so now I'm going to use gravity to help me. This is another reason I stand people up when I cut them. Here's my pull. Next section, turn the head again. Hair gets over-directed. Here's my guideline. It's out here. See it underneath? Another parting. Turn the head. Over-direct. This will virtually be very similar in a very similar haircut, but it will have so much more movement and softness and texture, and it'll have a more modern edge to it. Now, once I come in through here, boom, into the length, now I got to slide. So watch. You can see if I didn't smooth her cuticle out, this would be rough on her cuticle, right?
You got your scissors backwards, right?
Backwards?
Well,
You can flip them around
to
different
me,
ways.
that looks.
No, I'm cutting, this is called overhand, like this. So, this is regular,
Towards you, okay.
this is overhand.
Got you.
way I teach my students how to do it is like this. You come in, you take this, you have the hair in the hand, you take the bottom blade, the steel blade of the scissor, you set that on your finger. See it? Mm-hmm. Now these together go down as one unit, see? They never leave each other. They become a team. Make this hair travel. Yes, there's a lot of hair coming off right here. You know why? Because this is where we have to frame the face. See? As it comes down through here, less hair will come off. And as it comes down through here, we're going to go right to the length. We're not going to cut into the length. We're just going to go to it, see? To it. Same length, see? But now everything blends. Okay? We go down, we go to the back of the head. This is key. A lot of people will stop cutting here, and the reason is because they start pooping in their pants when they get to the length. Oh my God, how am I going to blend it? I'm going to cut it off and freak the person out, and right? You can't do that, because if it doesn't blend, it's not a professional haircut. So what you have to do is you go back here, we go right to the center of the head, and now this hair comes here. But here's the difference. Watch, guys. If this hair comes all the way down here, won't it stay longer than if it comes here? Okay. If it comes here, if the hair comes here, it's going to go back as a short layer, isn't it? If it comes here, medium layer. If it comes here, long. That's how you gear your layers. So if you want somebody with layered hair in the back, all of this gets cut here. No layers? Follow? But it has to go somewhere in this line. She's got very thick hair. We can definitely layer some of this. My brother is one of the best dry cutters on the planet. He's known for dry cutting. I like to dry cut, but I like to wet cut as well.
That's channeling.
This is channeling.
Is that just the haircut, or do you put styling?
When somebody comes to me, they get everything. They get their hair cut, conditioned, blown dry, everything.
And if she had thin hair, would you not do the channeling?
Yeah, I do it. Because it needs it, it supports it. Channeling is, but you see how much softer this is, guys? See it? See the edge on it now? Let's go the other way now. Called the gravity kick.
Yeah.
Look how sexy that is.
Yes.
Okay? Okay?
Holy shit, that's all in hair.
It's a lot of hair, but it's hair where you need it, and not but it's still there where you want it. See what I mean? So. Okay, now we're going to define it with a little bit of wax. What you're going to look for in a wax, one of the things that makes a wax nice is when it's real hard, okay? If a wax is too soft and comes out too soft and greasy, it's going to make the hair greasy and flat. But if a wax is real firm Then it's going to give you separation without flattening the hair.
I use Murray on my hair.
Marie's is good. A little too greasy for a girl though.
Yeah.
And your brush. Look, as I put the wax, see how the hair is becoming more defined? And you can see the edges more.
Do you do a lot of celebrity?
We're going to give her the Hollywood bump right now.
Doesn't everybody want that?
Every girl wants a bump, right? Right, girls? Everybody likes height on their hair. You want to see how you get it?
Yes.
2 ways. Up here, you see how long her hair is? To create some lift in here, we could come in and cut her hair right here.
Oh my God.
Flat top.
Look at her face. What would happen?
I'd cry.
You would cry, but your hair would stand straight up, right? It'd have a lot of lift. But that's not how you do it. What you have to do is, I want you to think of pillars. When you have to lift hair, you have to build pillars of support. Does that make sense to you? Almost like when you're lifting up a bridge, or if you're lifting up a pier, they have pillars. Okay? So what you do is you cut pillars. Look. All different lengths. They all pick up each other. Support the medium ones. The medium ones support the long ones. So now we got interior support in here. You'll never see it. It's invisible. It's in there, but it's so shredded that,
What are you are you cutting? Oh,
yeah,
that's so scary.
look, pop, 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 pop.
What's going on
I'm just
up there?
popping little short lines. Look, pop,
Barely
pop, pop,
cutting.
pop, 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 pop.
Or it's just cutting while going in. Are you shedding the scissors?
Yes.
Sorry.
Look, hair is coming
Good
off.
to know.
Right?
Barely any of that. Okay.
Not a lot,
Sorry. I'm like.
but see
Me
the
too.
lift already from it? Okay, now once you have that in, bump. Let me have her chair. And
Your hair is there, don't worry.
You're fine, sweetie.
Oh, no,
I would
I know.
never
I
wreck
trust
like
you.
that. I would never wreck you like that. By the way, if you are a hairdresser and you cut people's hair off and they're not willing to have their hair cut off, you're an asshole. No, really, it's cruel. I would never do that to someone. Hold this. Is there any hairspray in the building? Any kind of hairspray. Use a little bit of that. Take a comb. I'm going to go back into that same crown.
Is there a circle on top of her head?
Huh? Cut, yeah. Okay. That's half, and then the other half will be here. So it's a circle. So I'm going to come here. I've got the support cut in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just take my comb and I'm just going to slightly back comb just a little bit of those short hairs down into the base. From the back. So you can't see it here, right? From the back. And I'm going to take the spray, and I'm going to spray from the base up. And I'm going to take the flat iron, and I'm only going to use one paddle. And I'm going to yo-yo up and down. And every time I go down, I'm going to force the paddle more forward. Look. Turn your head to the side, sweetie.
Which side?
To the right. Watch.
Sort of teasing it.
Paddle. Only the one paddle. Look. Keeping tension firm here. And clap it. Okay.
Cool.
Is that what you're talking about?
Very good.
Okay.
Or hairspray.
Stand up. You're looking kind of low rider right now.
Oh, God, Myra, what is this?
No, now we'll just comment a little bit.